Hey guys, thank you so much for tuning into this video. My name is Sarah. I go by the artist name Him3e. I make basically electronic music, electronica, atmospheric beats, experimental beats, ambient beats, down tempo beats. However, I have been experimenting with lo-fi on and off for maybe about 4 or 5 years. And today I wanted to actually share a beat breakdown of a song that I will be releasing in 6 days, actually. Yes, today's the 20th. Happy pre solstice, by the way. Anyway, the song is called Drift. It's going to be on all streaming platforms and all that. However, I'm actually just more excited to talk about the process, what I did, and yeah, let's get into it. Well, actually, no. Let me actually start this off by saying this is lo fi inspired. It is not maybe like true lo fi, and you'll see or at least hear it at some point later in the video as to why I say that. But anyway, it's still a cool beat. I'm going to start off by playing a little snippet here. All right, that's like the main part. And yeah, let's go into a bit of like the history, just I'm going to just ramble a little bit. So, let's start off here. I wanted to do a lo-fi type of beat. That was the main thing. I didn't know how I was going to get there. I kind of drifted into it. See what I did there? See what I did there? Drift into it? Anyway, okay. That's enough cheese for today. It's a little too late. So, I also wanted to use the Arturia V collection because I actually just got it during like the Black Friday deals. It was, I think, for me 199. Maybe it was 299. I don't even know. I think it was 199 for me because I do have Analog Lab. I've been using Arturia, since I actually started producing, in particular for Hime. But even before that, I had I think the mini lab, like the keys. But yeah, so I was always a fan of their products. I was happy to see that the V collection was on sale. Uh, when I bought it at like the American price, I was really happy. When I went back to check my credit card and saw the exchange, the freaking exchange rate, I was like, okay, Canada's currency is crap. Cut that out. I'm done. Okay, done with puns, done with alliterating. I'm going to just get down to it. So, anyway, because I paid as much as I did, Canadian dollars wise, I decided that I need to make the most out of the V collection and actually figure out how to use it and what to do with it. So, what better way than to create a beat? I first started off with the Prophet 5 sound, kind of did tweak it a bit. And in a lot of ways, this actually is a very imperfect sound. And I thought it would be perfect for the wabi sabiness of lo fi. Lo fi being able to accentuate the imperfections or at least like be okay with imperfections and stuff. So I kind of went with that vibe and with that philosophy going into this beat as well as a lot of my other lo-fi inspired types of beats. Uh, doesn't mean it's bad. It's actually really good. It's good for my perfectionism. So this is what it sounds like, and I'll play the whole loop again, so you can hear what I mean by even imperfection. So, all right, it's going to be coming up in the next part. Yep, it's there. So what I did in order to kind of hide that a little, but still kind of make it a bit pronounced, or at least I know it's there. Uh, what I ended up doing was duplicating that sound at the beginning and actually just truncating where that kind of mistake, happy mistake happened. And I also kind of layered in a bunch of other sounds instead, kind of creating more of an atmosphere to kind of, and it's not even to take away from that mistake, but it worked as like a really good intro, to be honest. So let's see. Also, what I ended up doing too was adding just a bunch of effects. I love delays, really love using delays. And I use some reverb and, some other um, effects. I think I use like super massive as well on it. So this is what it's kind of sounds like. Not from the very beginning, but from uh, yeah, where the imperfection would kind of be, or where I got rid of it. So here. Right. So all of that was kind of leading up to the main part. I mean, of course, with a riser as well. Didn't add that in, but still, just talking about the instrumental parts. Um, what I ended up doing after I made this main loop or main riff, so to speak, was I actually went in with the stage 73, one of like the presets, just laid down chords. And I should also mention that normally I do a lot of my keys on my 88 key keyboard, like my Yamaha. However, I've actually like just moved a couple of weeks ago, and my studio setup has actually changed a lot. So because of this change, I've actually just been working with my little like MPK Mini, which I think has only like 32 keys. So I'm trying to like work with limitations, and I think it kind of worked out really well this time. So these are the keys. I added like a bunch of effects on that as well. I think there's even some reverb on it too. Uh, so together, kind of just sounds like this. Okay, and in order to kind of add a little bit more, I don't know if the word would be depth, but definitely a little bit more harmony and an additional couple of sounds, I actually went with a mellotron type of sound, like a flute. It has a little bit of that distortion sound too, which also adds to the lo-fi aesthetic, or at least feel. So this is what it would sound like. And with the actually with the mellotron type of sound, I did add a stock plugin, like a stock filter plugin to it as well. So if you hear like wah 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 happening, it's from that. Um, what else did I do? I added a lot of V collection stuff, like the organ as well. The organ was a happy accident in a sense, because the beginning of like the loop has some sounds that I didn't even play, like this. It just worked. It worked for adding a little extra, a little bit of an extra transition into the main, like part where all the kick and snare stuff comes in. I thought it was great. Just happy accidents, but yeah. Yeah. And then with this as well. So I like that as well. I added some Juno sounds as well. One is actually a drone, and one kind of like comes in like a beep 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 beep, beep and then comes out again. Like it's cool. I like it a lot. Of course, I like it. It's my own track. It's my baby. It's one of my babies. All right, together. Yeah, it just drones. That's it. I also realized this is actually, um, I thought it was a drum sound. It turns out um, that I'm really bad with organizing. And usually, I'll be honest, I was really bad with this before. I've only recently gotten better with a lot of my organization. As you can see, some of the drums are yellow, some are green, right? But hey, I tried. I really did try. Uh, but dropping something, I thought that was, um, yeah, it actually is. Ooh, it is a drum sound. Uh oh. Yeah, I have to start organizing better next time around. Next time around on one of my newer tracks, I'll be better organized. I would like to promise that. So, okay, let's continue to the part that I think is not really lo-fi. At least when I say that, I mean it's not going to be on any type of lo-fi playlist that I know of right now. I went through a bunch of them, and I think this part would actually completely take it out of the running. I tend to love doing a lot with drums and percussion. I love having all of that extra sound. So, what I did in this part of the track was I took my kick and snare sound, which basically just sounds like this. Like, okay. Initially, the way that Studio One works, when you have MIDI, is you can play all the MIDI in on one track. You can then I think it's expand tracks or extract the tracks. So then, um, basically, you can separate like the kick and the snare. You can separate based on the different MIDI key that you've played. And so, in this case, I didn't do that. I kept it all together. I bounced it out and came up and ended up with this. And on that, I ended up using some filters. I ended up also adding like delay, and I just got like some crazy percussion type of sounds. And then I also added some of my found sounds that I used at the beginning of the track here as well. And I thought it sounded great. I personally thought it sounded great. And I also know that it's not really lo-fi friendly. So yes, please excuse it. I'm gonna start 4 bars before. So here we go. Yeah. So I really like that. Um, just my taste, my personal tastes, my baby. Okay. So I think what also helps with a lot of that like sound was actually another thing. Well, two things that I got from the V collection as well. I'm gonna play them here, just as well as I think it's foreign taps. and love it. Okay, stop it there. The last thing that I will actually talk about um, is the piano. So decided to like basically replicate the original sound that I started off with, the Prophet 5 sound that I called imperfect. So I wanted to replicate it with the piano, and I did. But I also decided to do another part with the piano where I actually put the imperfect part of that MIDI on the grid, and I played around with it like this. So here's the first piano sound. Here it is with the Prophet. Kind of blend a little. I'm gonna mute the Prophet. Let's hear. So basically, that's perfect in a sense. It's on the grid, it all works. And the Prophet, I didn't do that. I actually left it imperfect. So you'll hear here that there's a bit of a delay in a sense between the piano and the Prophet. It so kind of works out. At least I think it works out. And what I did at the end was I actually cut out the Prophet V, the sound that was imperfect, and I let the piano play over it. So it's like, yeah. So yeah, that's basically it. I mean, there are a couple of other parts that I probably didn't really talk about, but uh, yeah, that's the main gist of the song, right? I'll just play at least the first 32 bars. So it includes the my found sounds. I just remembered something before I go. Originally, the song was actually in one. I think the BPM I had it at was 136. I tend to work with halftime. I enjoyed like making trap and trap type of beats, and a lot of my stuff tends to be usually in the 140 or at least the 120 to 150 range. All right, so when I'm making like even the drums for lo-fi, it's hard for me to do it in like when it's 70 BPM. Um, I I just work better when I double it up, I guess. I don't know. I don't know if that makes sense to you guys, but yeah, that's kind of how I see it. I'll get better at explaining, I swear. Um, so originally it was at 136. I was talking to my boyfriend about it, and I was kind of questioning, should I have it slower or like faster? And I think the fastest that I put the song at originally was even like 144 when I was experimenting. And my boyfriend's like, "Oh, that's way too fast." I was like, I agreed with that. And then I said, okay, well, what about 138? And that was a little too slow. So just got to the sweet spot of 140. But I will play the song at 136, which is where I originally had it when I was actually programming everything. So let's see. Let's just do it from here. All right, so just let me know what you guys actually think. Um, I'm not going to change it. I'm not going to re-release it. But if you thought it was actually better at like 136, then it is what it is. It's being released at 140 or I guess 70 BPM. I don't know. I don't know how, but yeah, just know it's faster than what I originally had thought about doing it at. I thought honestly 136 was way too slow. Yeah. So anyway, I hope you actually enjoyed. Well, I'm pretty sure you enjoyed it, but in any case, I hope you enjoyed this beat breakdown. This is like the first one that I've ever really done. So yeah, if you want to listen to the track on any streaming platform, it will be there on the 26th. And yeah, I'm gonna do some more of these. I actually kind of enjoy going through um, my track and my process. So yeah, thank you so much for listening, and have yourselves a good day or night.